The Creamers. Wait, that's probably presumptuous of me. They're probably not married. Here are Danny Creamer, Gina Allen, and little Tallulah Rose sitting on their fabulous taxpayer-funded red shag carpet, which presumably has a slightly different meaning over there, with their fabulous taxpayer-funded leather furniture and their fabulous taxpayer-funded 47-inch widescreen HD TV. The Creamers the Creamers receive the princely sum of £17,680 sterling per year, and even though they both have been offered jobs, they ask, and frankly, sensibly enough, why they should go to work when it would mean a reduction of their freeloading lifestyle. Joining me now to set up lawn chairs, drink single malt scotch, vodka, and O'Doul's, and eat popcorn as we watch civilization burn before our very eyes are Steve Green and Scott Ott. Welcome, lads. Yay. You know, when challenged on their dependence on other hardworking Britons, these shining examples offered this defense. Gina, flaunting fake tan and perfectly manicured nails, said, "I don't see that we're living off the taxpayers. We're entitled to the money our parents paid all their lives. They've worked so hard since they left school, and I'm sure they'd rather it went to us than to see us struggle. They pay a lot of tax, and although they'd rather we weren't in this situation and one of us had a job, they understand why we are where we are. We can't help it. We're stuck like it." Now, Scotty, their parents worked hard and paid into the system. That's their money, right?
Well, so it would appear, at least we have 2 out of the 3 parties in agreement. The Creamers or Gina and whatever the guy's name was, they're in agreement with the government. That's in agreement with them. Apparently, the only party not actually polled in this story was the parents themselves and their fellow citizens who worked all those years to provide the tax money to make it possible for these people to do absolutely nothing. But it goes even deeper than that because, you know, in my little experience, I used to be a pastor in a small town that was in a very depressed area, economically a mess. And what I discovered in my time spent with people, most of whom were on some form of public assistance, is that the poor make what you might call amoral but rational decisions. And this amoral, rational decision you see here is to say, you know, if we both worked, then I'd have to hire childcare, which would negate one of our salaries. And so it actually is possible for us to earn more money if we earn no money.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. By the way, they don't do any, it's not that they do nothing, Steve, Scotty. They smoke 40 cigarettes a day. Steve, these lovely people seem to be missing a point that my scary, super genius intellect has managed through endless hours of intense cogitation to discover. They're living on the taxes that their parents paid into the system. They, however, are not only not paying into the system, they're draining the system. So, Steve Green, what, pray tell, will little Tallulah Rose and the millions like her, what are they going to live on?
No, you almost partway bought into their argument, and it's not true. Their parents might have paid in, but that money's gone. That money's spent. Britain does it the same stupid way we do, where it's pay as you go. There's no trust fund. There's no lockbox or any of that stuff. The money is gone. Britain has been living on borrowed money for quite a while now, and they've been trying austerity. They've been on this austerity program for 3 or 4 years now. This is austerity. That family's receiving $35,000 a year or thereabouts, if I'm doing the math right on pounded dollars. They don't have to buy gas because they don't have jobs to commute to. The child's too small to go to school, so their living expenses are tiny, and they have what in the suburbs and rural areas of this country would be not a great but a fairly comfortable existence. And they get it sitting there. This is Britain's austerity. Oh no, they haven't even begun to cut. And wow, I can't wait to see these people I would like them to be the first to be shown the door because of their stinking pride in living off of somebody else.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, Scotty, though, you'll be pleased to know that Danny turned down a job offer from his father, and they blithely tell us in the article, they discussed the possibility that Gina, the newborn mom, quote, looked up escorting, and saw that you can make 110 pounds an hour, but we decided we wouldn't go down that route, unquote. The only job they seriously considered, apparently, was prostitution for the young mom. Now, Scott, Britain was 20 years ahead of us down this road. Now, thanks to Obama, I think they're 5. We're in trouble.
Yeah, it's hard to draw. If you've got no moral code that governs any of these things, it's hard to say where the line would be. I believe it was in Germany we talked about a few months ago, where they're actually saying to some women, if you don't go and apply for this job in an escort service, then we're going to cut off your benefits because, you know, it's work and you should be willing to take this work. It's one of the older professions, perhaps the oldest. And so if there's no clear, bright line that says beyond this we may not go, then how could we say anything is wrong? I want to recommend to our viewers a book by a guy named Marvin Olasky called The Tragedy of American Compassion. The Tragedy of American Compassion. And you'll see how we've gotten to this point.
Exactly. You know, Steve, these charming people claim they deserve sympathy because they are trapped. Trapped! By a welfare state that makes it harder on them if they actually go out and get a job. Gina admits, quote, "We could easily get a job, but why would we want to work? We'd be worse off." Now, here's the thing, Steve. I think they're actually right. I think they're right. They are trapped, aren't they? If it makes more sense to stay home on benefits than it does to go get a job financially, then there's something fundamentally wrong.
Well, it's not trapped so much as it is, as Scott said, the rational choice. But they have also made a very irrational choice. As I said before, the money that their parents paid in, that's gone. They're not paying any money in, and that money is going to be gone. But what I noticed there, sitting all together on their shag carpet, is that they have one kid. That one kid is going to have to pay for all of their stuff as soon as he reaches or she reaches working age. So I suggest they get busy and start having a lot more kids.
I disagree, young fellow. They're talking about having more kids, and those kids aren't going to suddenly be born with a work ethic to go up and make up for their parents. Those two kids are going to be born into this entitlement state. They're not going to know anything different. There's just going to be more people that are going to be dependent. Look, folks, when you pay people to be stupid, lazy, ungrateful, and idle, you get more stupid, lazy, ungrateful, and idle people. I was relieved to see in the comments section of this article over in Britain that British people are outraged by all of this. They're universally outraged. Great Britain is heading for a triple dip recession. I wonder why. I wonder why economic growth is not happening in a country where the tax rate grows ever higher and higher. I wonder why more and more people decide the smart play is to stop being a sucker and pay and work like a devil to pay into the system and not be a Danny or a Gina and live comfortably on other people's sweat. And I wonder how long it will take this formerly hard-working country of ours to reach this same tipping point and with it, its own destruction. And I especially wonder why people like Harry Reid, Nancy Pelosi, and Barack H. Obama find this the optimal outcome for the United States of America. For PJTV, I'm Bill Whittle.